Welcome students. So in this lecture, let us look at the different types of data analysis for internal social media. As usual, first we have the data in motion and then we will look at the data at rest. So when you look at the data in motion in an internal social media structure, it may not be that complex in comparison to an external social media arrangement. You may have the different IT structure data, IT infrastructural data. Probably if it is an educational institution, you will have the student details and the examination information and all other personal details of the faculties and the students. So in that case, the data is relatively less. When the data is relatively less, the machine capacity which you need to process such type of data is also relatively can be less in comparison to an external social media. However, you need to check how big your organization is. So depending on that, you need to purchase a server or a processor to make sure a sufficient data analysis, or I would say a meaningful data analysis, can be done. In continuation with your external social media, we also do here a simple social metrics, which is a relatively shallow type of data analysis. So if you want to find some basic information on how many employees you have or how many students are there in a specific department, then we can go for this SSM and try to find out the basic information. The machine capacity, again, for this type of data can be relatively less. You can perform the ad hoc analysis, which is a temporary analysis, and also, if necessary, you can go deeper too. But when you say shallow type of data, the question mark is it really necessary for you to go deep? The next is data at rest, where the data is stored offline. So when you consider an internal social media, the online information is relatively much lesser than the data at rest. Most of the time, all the data will be stored in a device or in a buffer so that you can process the data, maybe the history of data too. Again, we have the simple social metrics as usual and the ad hoc analysis depending upon the machine capacity you have. So what are the duration of the analysis? So the duration of analysis is usually 1 month. During the first month of the specific, say for example, a new lecture platform is being released, you can find out volume of conversations over time. So what happens among the students, among the faculty, what do they say about a specific platform? Volume of conversations by geography of the author, percentage of posts, and the positives and the negatives can be also used. And then you have the machine capacity where you can go for the deep analysis or you can go for the shallow analysis. When you go for the deep analysis, you can ask the question, what is the correlation between the level of social activity and the likelihood of the increased innovations? So such type of questions can be asked among the same content, and you can come to a conclusion whether the released content is really useful for the society or the stakeholders, or whether some modifications or changes are needed at that. And also you can find out the capabilities of the employees. Probably a feedback system can be adapted, and how frequently the people are talking about the feedback system, or what is the interaction between the stakeholders in the feedback systems. You also have the key performance indicators which can be used to analyze the different capabilities of the employees too. So it doesn't matter whether you need a large amount of data. Depending upon your requirements, you can again curate the size of the data, or you can also go for a less efficient processor too. So it is completely dependent on the user. And also when you look at the machine capacity, this is the a complete information of the machine capacity. You can have the velocity of data, which can be in real time or it can be offline too. And the same way you can do different types of analysis, right from SSM to deep on these two types of velocity of data. And several examples are given here which will be useful for you to understand what type of analysis I need to do for a specific